I just finished building my new bell disc sander, and my intention from the start was to build a stand for this to go on. I didn't want it sitting on a bench somewhere, taking up space and getting all cluttered. Instead, I want to be able to roll it out, use it, and then roll it right back where it belongs. So that's what I'll be doing in this video. I'll be building the stand. I'm going to be using 1/2-inch plywood for most of this. And while this is a full sheet that I'm using here, I'm definitely not going to be using the whole thing for this project. From this piece, I'm going to cut the two sides and the back. And the sides are 12 inches wide, and the back is actually 13. And of course, everything is the same length, 30 inches. And now I need to rip another strip off what's left of the sheet. And I need this for shelves, mainly. And now I have enough cut out to get started on putting it together. And to do that, I'm going to be using glue and brad nails. And I'm checking the gun here, and I can see that there are 1 1/4 inch brads in there already. And those are plenty long enough for holding together 1/2-inch plywood parts. I was thinking about it while I was putting it together, and I changed my mind about the fixed shelf on the inside. I decided to cut some off the edge to make it not as deep, and that's so that I can hang belts on the inside of the door. Next parts I need to make are the feet for the stand, and there are casters that go in these, and I'm ripping those from a piece of 2x8 that I have. And for some reason, I started making 4 when I only need 2, so I just picked out the best pair. The casters that I'm using are from an old office chair, and I'm drilling a 3/8 inch hole just deep enough for the shaft of the caster. And this turned out to be a little bit too small. I had to drill it out again with a larger size. And now the shaft on the caster has a little shoulder on it. But to keep that from sinking too deep in the wood, I'm going to be using washers. But once again, the hole in the washer is a little bit too small. So I'm going to ream that out with the step drill. And then I can pound in the casters and fasten the finished leg. Next parts that I need are the front door and the lower panel. And once again, I'm ripping that off what's left of the sheet. And then I'll cut those to length carefully on the table saw. And since the stand will be a little bit top heavy, I'm going to be adding some ballast to the bottom. And for that, I'm using a very old all-metal skill saw. You know, they say they don't make them like they used to, but sometimes that's a good thing, because this thing, even though it still works, it weighs a ton. Here I'm adding a thin hardwood strip to the hinge side of the cabinet, and that's to thicken it out for the hinges. And then I can cut out for the hinges using the hacksaw to cut the edge first and then remove the rest of the material with my trim router. To keep the door closed, I'm adding a magnetic catch to the handle side. And a good trick for locating the metal plate on the door is to use double-sided tape. After I had that done, I added some simple wooden hangers to the inside of the door to drape belts over. And I put the rest of the belts that I have on the bottom, and I put a piece of plywood on top to keep them from curling up, because that's a big problem with this type of belt. It wants to curl up like crazy. And also it's a good place to keep this sanding block that I made recently that uses those mesh discs. Anyway, if you're interested in building this sander, there are plans available, and the plans do include details on building this stand, and there's a link in the description that'll take you right there. As usual, I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.